Hello, I'm Dr. Jerry Parrish. I'm the Chief Economist for the Florida Chamber Foundation. Welcome to this edition of Florida by the Numbers. Today I'm going to talk about Florida's recent job numbers, as well as some other things going on in the Florida economy. First, let's take a look at the number of COVID-19 cases in Florida. Every evening I update this map and we send it out along with a lot of other useful information. That's in the Florida Chamber's daily email. You can sign up to get those emails at flchamber.com/coronavirus. You can see your county's number of positive cases here, as well as detailed information about how many Floridians have been tested. The cases in Florida are now 25,492. That was an increase of 739 cases since the day before. The number of people tested is now more than 250,000. The good news here is that the percentage of tests that are positive has fallen over the past 17 days. To give you some perspective on how quickly these cases have increased, I've added the map from exactly 1 month ago. Back then, only 31 counties had cases, and there were only 328 known cases in Florida. Certainly, the number of cases has increased, but Florida has taken steps to keep down the growth in cases. And before the next By the Numbers, Florida's cases will have peaked and will be going down in numbers. What has all this done to Florida's job market? This slide shows the initial unemployment claims for Florida. You can see the last 4 weeks of claims compared to a typical week's claims this time of year since 2003. You can easily see that these are unprecedented numbers, with more than 650,000 initial unemployment claims filed in the last 4 weeks. When we get our unemployment number for April, it will be substantially higher. We'll get those April numbers on May the 15th, and I'll show that on the next Florida by the Numbers. Here's the month-over-month job numbers for Florida. This month shows that we lost 36,600 jobs, but you have to remember this only shows up to around the middle of March. Besides the Hurricane Irma period and the fall of 2017, there hasn't been a negative monthly job number in Florida since 2011. This chart shows the 2012 to the current, with a peak in July 2016 and a recent high of 37,400 jobs in January of 2020. You may remember me reminding you that as a proxy, you could use the percent of private sector jobs that are leisure and hospitality for a look at how relatively hard your county is going to be hit by this recession. On this map, you can see your percentage. Nationally, 65.5% of the early job losses were in leisure and hospitality. This slide shows where Florida lost jobs. The majority were in leisure and hospitality. You can see that the bulk of those were in the subcategory of accommodation and food services, but there were also jobs lost in arts, entertainment, and recreation. Remember that some sectors of Florida's economy are still growing. Finance and insurance, healthcare, and retail posted job gains. The retail jobs gained are in the general merchandise category. These are like Walmarts and Targets. You can see that Florida's unemployment rate is now 4.3%. And although the job numbers are dropping, the year-over-year increase is still positive. We'll see big shifts in these numbers on May the 15th when we get the April numbers. We have some national retail sales numbers to go on to see what will likely happen to Florida. The national decrease in retail sales for March was 8.7%. That's a record number. I'll show you a breakdown by category. On the left, the categories are largest to smallest. Usually autos is number one, but grocery has overtaken that top spot for now. What I want you to notice is the colors. The orange means that these are record numbers, all-time records, and you can see many categories have hit all-time records. Also notice that groceries have gone up substantially, clothing has taken the worst hit, and furniture is just behind that, with restaurants and autos tied for a close third. Keep in mind that the state of Florida is dependent on sales taxes, and groceries that have to be prepared to eat are not taxed. This means Florida's budget is going to be impacted. Florida's regions whose economies are diversified will weather the economic impacts better than those who are less diversified. As one of our Florida 2030 blueprint goals, we need to get from the currently 20th most diversified state economy to the top 12. This is something we must continue to improve upon to lessen the impacts of future events on both your region's economy and the Florida economy. The Florida Chamber Foundation is currently working on a recovery plan for the state of Florida. I look forward to sharing that plan with you in the near future. Thanks for watching this month's edition of Florida by the Numbers. If you have any questions, please contact me at the Florida Chamber Foundation. Thank you.